My name's Gerald Edward Chatt. I'm known as Ted. I am 74 years of age and I was diagnosed with prostate cancer 11 years ago, exactly 11 years ago. And basically the diagnosis was not particularly good because it had spread to my spine.
And I'm Norma, Ted's wife, and I'm going through this journey with him.
I went to my GP several times before 2003 when I was diagnosed because I was getting a lot of pain in my groin and in my back. And my GP put this down to the fact that I played a lot of golf in those days. When I had a regular test, I used to get tested every 6 months. She took some blood for analysis and it came back basically saying that you've got a kidney problem. She said, I'm going to refer you to a urologist at Withington Hospital. I went to see this urologist thinking that there was something wrong with my kidney, and I had a full examination by a young lady, and she came back and she said, I think you ought to have a PSA check. Well, I'd heard about PSA, but I didn't really know what it was all about. And I went to give some blood, and within 2 days I had a call from the hospital. Can I go back? And I was told, and Norma was with me on that. Well, she's with me on all the visits and the occasions we come to the hospitals. And we sat in front of the consultant urologist, and he basically said, oh, well, you're okay, your kidneys are okay, this is okay, that's okay, but you've got prostate cancer, just like that. As though, you know, it was just a matter of fact.
It was horrendous. One of his nurses was sat to his left, and when he just says, oh, this isn't a problem, but you have got a problem, you've got prostate cancer straight out, I just turned and looked at Ted, and Ted was just asking questions and not looking at me, but the nurse must have seen what the impact that this statement had had, because I had no idea whatsoever what was happening. And after we'd had a discussion, and he said, I want you to have a bone scan, etc., etc., or go and visit, I will make an appointment for you to go to the Christie's. We came out of the room, and the nurse actually said to Ted, would you like to go into one of the side rooms so you can have a sit down and, you know, kind of just get yourself together? And Ted said no. He said, I'm all right, I want to go home and have a cup of tea. And she said no. She said, not for you, Ted. She said, it's for your wife. Because I never thought that somebody would come out with a statement just so blatantly like that, oh, you've got prostate cancer. And what hit me was that I'd lost my father in 1980 with prostate cancer, and he was only alive for 14 months, so you can imagine how I felt at that particular time, not even thinking of what was going on with Ted. I would say it was certainly a bombshell for me, because I was just totally and utterly stunned. I normally would know if there was anything wrong with Ted, but I had no idea whatsoever that news was going to just be thrown at me like it was.
In my particular case, it was, oh, is that the case? Okay, well, if you're going to take it out, that'll do, that's fine, you know. I think I was in denial. I think I really was in denial. It was only when we got home that I suddenly realised the impact that this was having on our lives, not just me, our lives. Within 2 or 3 days, wasn't it?
We had an appointment at the Christie
to see Dr. Wiley. A treatment pattern was decided upon, that I would go on to hormone therapy initially, but then go have radiotherapy
Yeah.
about January, about two months after the initial diagnosis. But basically, the whole, everything changed then, as Norma said, everything just changed. It was a case of hormone therapy only. There was nothing else that they could do. Chemo wasn't available at the time. Radiotherapy was out of the window because of the problems with the spine. There was no, I don't think there was any brachytherapy or anything like that at the time. Would have been no good anyway because of this problem with the metastases. So it was a case of just having the hormone therapy. One thing I will say that I would prefer that you have your own point of contact. Sometimes we're getting different doctors and what have you, so the continuity's not there. They read a file and there's no kind of, you know what I mean? And I happened to say to Dr. Wiley, and I shouldn't have done really, but I did. I said to him, okay, how long is this going to last? He said, well, as an average, it's about 2 to 5 years. That was 11 years ago.
Because he said everybody's different. We can't really say.
I was almost living a normal life, really. I couldn't play golf anymore because I was getting a lot of soreness in my back. But we kind of accommodated it, didn't we? I've got cancer. We've got things to do. We decided that we were going to go on holiday as much as we possibly could. I'd worked in Italy for quite some time, and I worked in Spain for 2 years. And let's just do these things.
Enjoy ourselves while we can.
Let's just enjoy, you know.
And we planned the future, as you have to do. There's no head in the sand for anybody, and we had to sit down and discuss personal things, and all those were made. Wills have been made, things like that, and then you think, right, that's all out of the way. Now we live for the rest of our lives together.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing.
At the end of the day, we pretty much covered every aspect, even to my funeral, would you believe? Because having been told I'd only got 2 to 5 years, you know, you can't be ostrich-like. You've got to do something. So we did. And my biggest concern at the time was not so much my illness, but what about Norma? What happens to Norma if I don't make it?
I'm a carer, yes. I do have my moments that Ted doesn't know about. But there's that old saying that you're not living with cancer, the cancer is living with you. And you have to make the most of whatever time you have left together.
One of the nurses here suggested to us that we go to the Neil Cliff Centre at Wythenshawe Hospital.
Damien,
his name was. Yeah. And that afternoon, after we'd been here to clinic, we went to see the people at the Neil Cliff, and I kid you not, they, in a sense, pulled me around and made me a lot stronger and able to deal with the psychological side and the physical side, because I was beginning to get pain, etc., etc. So I got to know Neil Cliff very well, and been out and done lectures and talks with him, and that was my way of dealing with my illness.
We're a patient carer group with St Anne's, and we do fundraising, and we go to things at the Neil Cliff Centre, and you know, they really, really are the most marvellous places to go to, and people are laughing there. There's no sadness or anything like that. They really are remarkable places to go to.
One of the things that was suggested to me was that I join a group of other patients who have either got or had prostate cancer. And I was a little bit dubious about doing that because I thought it might be, you know, it's not. It's not. I've got 6 friends now. There's laughter, and I come out of there feeling on top of the world. I really do. I cannot put it into words how I feel about the support that I've had from the Neil Cliff, from the Prostate Cancer Charity, St Anne's, and the Christie. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid of asking questions, because if you don't ask questions, you don't find out anything. But there is one important thing that I'd like to raise here, and I've just thought of it. Don't read too much into the internet, because some of these sites are garbage and they can lead you down the wrong path. They can make you depressed, because a lot of it is wrong. If you go onto the internet, make sure you go onto the correct sites.
I'm aware of what the future holds, but at the same time, I'm going on this journey with Ted, and I'm with him all the way. Every point, I think it's important that the spouse goes with the patient, because you actually hear from the oncologist or whoever what is happening. There's nothing worse than the patient having to come home if it's been bad news and then having to relay it to the partner.
You see, Norm, at the end of the day, because we are on this road together, you're able to say all these things, and quite often she keeps me in check. I'm like a man with a broken leg and she's my crutch. If it hadn't been for Norma, I'm not sure I'd have been here. I probably would in some form, but I would not have taken on all the things that I have taken on. It's almost become a hobby, getting involved with St Anne's and going to the choir things, the Christmas things. And
yeah, we're all there.
We've found a whole new bunch of friends. And it's unbelievable. The thing about it is, in the 10, 11 years that we've been on this journey, so much has happened in terms of progress that I'm just filled with hope. I just want to keep going until they've got the cure. That's how I look at it.
Well, Ted never thought he'd see the Olympics, which he did. We've actually seen the new trams.
Yeah, at the end of our road.
The end of our road.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
But
know.
I mean, we are looking at next year's holiday now, because I've had this news, and despite all the pain that I get because of my bones have gone thin now because of the treatment, it's nothing to do with the cancer. We're going, what, 3 holidays next year?
Well, we've got one already booked.